Welcome to Unleash Your English. If English makes you nervous, tired, or afraid to speak, stay with me until the end. Today, you will learn how to slow down, relax your mind, and speak with more confidence using very simple English. And near the end, I will give you one easy daily practice that can make speaking English feel much more natural. So relax, listen carefully, and let your English grow one calm sentence at a time. Chapter 1. Slow down and give yourself permission to learn. Many English learners believe one thing that makes learning much harder than it needs to be. They think they must speak fast. They hear fluent speakers talking quickly, and they start to believe, if I want to sound good, I also need to speak fast. But this idea can create fear. It can make your mind feel busy. It can make you forget words that you already know. So today, I want you to remember something very important. You do not need to speak fast to speak good English. You do not need to answer every question in 1 second. You do not need to sound like someone who has spoken English for 20 years. You are learning, and learning needs time. Imagine someone asks you, "How are you?" You know this question. You know the answer, but suddenly your mind becomes nervous. You think, what should I say? Is my grammar correct? Is my pronunciation okay? Am I too slow? And because you are thinking about all these things, a very easy question suddenly feels difficult. Now imagine something different. Someone asks, "How are you?" You take a small pause. You breathe. Then you say slowly, "I am good, thank you. How are you?" That is English. That is communication. That is success. You did not need a long answer. You did not need a difficult word. You only needed to stay calm and say one clear sentence. Please understand this deeply. Speaking slowly does not mean your English is weak. Sometimes speaking slowly shows that you are careful, clear, and confident. Even native speakers pause. Even confident speakers sometimes stop and think. People pause when they choose their words. People pause when they want to explain something clearly. So why should you feel bad when you need a small pause? You are not a machine. You are a learner. You are building a new skill inside your mind. Give yourself permission to learn slowly. Think about a child learning to walk. The child does not run on the first day. First, the child stands. Then the child takes one step. Then another step. Sometimes the child falls. But nobody says, "You are bad at walking." Everyone understands that this is part of learning. English is very similar. Your first sentence may be slow. Your second sentence may have a mistake. Maybe you forget one word. Maybe you pronounce something differently. That is okay. Every sentence is another step. Every small conversation is another step. Every time you try, you are moving forward. And here is something many learners never understand. The person who keeps speaking slowly every day can improve more than the person who waits for perfect English before speaking at all. Maybe you have experienced this before. You want to speak English, but when someone starts talking to you, your heart begins to beat faster. Your mind suddenly becomes empty. You know many words when you are studying alone, but in the conversation is finished, you remember everything. You think, "Oh, I knew that word. Why did I forget it?" The reason is often not that your English is bad. The reason is pressure. When you put too much pressure on yourself, your brain tries to do too many things together. You are thinking about grammar. You are thinking about pronunciation. You are thinking about the other person. You are thinking about making a mistake. You are thinking about speaking fast. Your mind becomes crowded. So today, remove one pressure. Tell yourself, "I do not have to speak fast." Say it again slowly. "I do not have to speak fast." Feel how simple that sentence is. Feel how it gives you space. When you give yourself time, your words have a better chance to come to you. You may suddenly remember the word you need. You may make a better sentence. You may also feel calmer. This is why slow English can become powerful English. Now I want you to practice something with me. Do not worry about sounding perfect. Just say each sentence slowly. I am learning English. Pause. Say it again. I am learning English. Now say, I can speak slowly. Again, I can speak slowly. Now say, I do not need to hurry. Very good. I do not need to hurry. And now one more sentence. I am getting better every day. Do you notice something? These sentences are easy. They do not use difficult vocabulary. But when you speak them slowly, they can help your mouth and your mind become more comfortable with English. This is one of the secrets of confidence. Confidence does not always begin with knowing more words. Sometimes confidence begins with feeling comfortable with the words you already know. If you know 10 useful sentences and you can say them calmly, that is better than knowing 100 difficult sentences that you are afraid to use. Think about your daily life. Maybe someone asks, "What is your name?" You can say, "My name is Ali." Maybe someone asks, "Where are you from?" You can say, "I am from Pakistan." Maybe someone asks, "What do you do?" You can say, "I am a student," or "I work in a shop," or "I work in an office." These answers are not complicated, but they are useful. Now imagine saying them slowly and clearly. My name is Ali. Pause. I am from Pakistan. Pause. I am a student. There is no problem with these small pauses. In fact, they can make your speech easier to understand. When you practice like this, you teach your brain an important lesson. English does not have to be scary. English can be slow. English can be simple. English can feel safe. And here is a powerful question for you. What if the biggest thing stopping you is not your grammar? What if it is not your vocabulary? What if the biggest problem is that you are trying to move too fast? Many learners are always looking for more words, more grammar rules, more lessons, and more books. Learning is good, but sometimes you already know enough English to have a small conversation. The problem is that you do not trust yourself. You are waiting for the day when you feel completely ready. But that day may never come if you do not start using the English you have now. Confidence grows after action, not before action. You speak one sentence, and your confidence grows a little. You answer one question, and your confidence grows again. You make a mistake and continue speaking, and something even stronger happens. You learn that a mistake does not stop you. This is a huge moment in language learning. So from today, I want you to stop judging every sentence. Do not ask yourself, was that perfect? Instead ask, did the other person understand me? If the answer is yes, then communication happened. That is good. Of course, you can improve grammar and pronunciation over time, but you do not need perfection before you start speaking. Imagine you want to say, yesterday I went to the market. Maybe you accidentally say, yesterday I go to market. Is it perfect grammar? No. But can someone probably understand your meaning? Yes. So do not freeze. Keep learning. Later you can correct the grammar. The goal at this stage is to become comfortable using English. Every time you speak and survive the moment, your fear becomes a little smaller. Now relax your shoulders for a moment. Take a slow breath. You are not in a race. No one is standing behind you with a clock. You are allowed to think. You are allowed to pause. You are allowed to say, "Give me a moment." You are allowed to use easy words. You are allowed to learn. This may sound simple, but it can completely change the way you feel about English. Imagine how different your next conversation could be if you stop telling yourself, speak fast, and instead tell yourself, stay calm, one sentence at a time. That one change can make speaking feel much easier. Before we move forward, I want you to remember these 4 ideas. You do not need to speak fast. You do not need perfect English. You only need one clear sentence at a time. And every time you speak, you are practicing. Hold these ideas in your mind because they will help you in every part of this lesson. In the next chapter, we are going deeper. We will talk about something that happens before you even open your mouth. We will learn how to calm your mind before you speak, because when your mind becomes calmer, your English can come out more naturally, and you may discover that some of the English you think you have forgotten is still there, waiting for you to relax enough to use it. Chapter 2. Calm your mind before you speak. Before you speak English, something important happens inside your mind. Sometimes you know the answer, you know the words, and you even know the grammar, but when someone speaks to you, your mind suddenly feels empty. Maybe your heart beats faster. Maybe your body becomes tense. Maybe you start thinking, what if I make a mistake? What if they do not understand me? What if I say the wrong word? And because you are thinking about so many things at the same time, speaking becomes difficult. This is why learning to calm your mind is so important. Good English does not only come from your mouth, it also comes from a calm mind. When your mind feels safe, your words can come more easily. So today, we are going to practice a very simple method. It has only 3 steps: pause, breathe, and speak. That is all. You do not need anything difficult. You do not need a special technique. You only need to give yourself a few seconds. Imagine someone asks you, "Where are you from?" You know this question. You know your answer. But instead of answering quickly, take a small pause. Breathe gently. Then say, "I am from Pakistan." That is enough. Now imagine someone asks, "What do you do?" Again, do not rush. Pause. Breathe. Speak. You can say, "I am a student." Maybe you say, "I work in an office." Maybe you say, "I have a small business." Your answer does not need to be long. Your goal is not to impress anyone. Your goal is to communicate clearly. This small pause gives your brain time to find the words. And something interesting begins to happen. When you stop forcing your English often becomes easier. This is important because many learners think they need more vocabulary when what they really need is less pressure. Let us practice this together. I will give you a simple question. Do not answer quickly. First, pause, then breathe, then speak. Ready? What is your name? Pause. Take a gentle breath. Now answer slowly. My name is, and say your name. Good. Next question. How are you today? Pause. Breathe. Then say, I am good today. Or maybe, I am tired today. Or, I am happy today. Very simple. Now another question. What do you like? Pause. Breathe. Speak. I like coffee. I like music. I like reading. I like walking. Do you see what is happening? You are not trying to create perfect, long answers. You are training your mind to stay calm while using English. This is a very powerful skill. Sometimes the fear of making mistakes is bigger than the mistake itself. Think about that. You may be afraid for 10 minutes because you think you might say one word incorrectly. But even if you say that word incorrectly, what really happens? Maybe the other person asks you to repeat it. Maybe they understand you anyway. Maybe you correct yourself. Then the conversation continues. The world does not stop. You are still okay. This is why you should not give one small mistake so much power. A mistake is not a wall. It is just a small bump in the road. You can continue. Say this slowly with me. I can make mistakes and continue. Again, I can make mistakes and continue. One more time. I can make mistakes and continue. This sentence is important because confidence is not about never making mistakes. Confidence is about continuing even when mistakes happen. Now I want you to try another calming exercise. Look at one thing near you. Maybe it is your phone. Maybe it is a chair. Maybe it is a cup. Do not think about difficult grammar. Just say what you see. This is my phone. Pause. The phone is black. Pause. I use this phone every day. That is enough. You are speaking English. Now look at another object. Maybe you see a window. Say, this is a window. The window is open. I can see outside. Notice how calm this feels. You are using English without pressure. You are not trying to sound advanced. You are simply connecting your thoughts with easy English. This kind of practice teaches your brain that speaking English can be peaceful. Here is another important idea. When you become nervous, do not tell yourself, I cannot speak English. That sentence can make your fear stronger. Instead, change the sentence. Say, I need a moment. These two sentences feel very different. I cannot speak English closes the door. I need a moment keeps the door open. Maybe you need 3 seconds to remember the word. Maybe you need 5 seconds. That is okay. You can even say to the other person, let me think. This is a very useful English phrase. Say it now. Let me think. Again, let me think. You can also say, give me a moment. These phrases give you time and help you stay in the conversation. Many beginners also make another mistake. They try to think about the whole conversation before they speak the first sentence. Someone asks one question, and the learner is already thinking about the next 5 answers. This makes the mind very busy. Instead, stay with the sentence you are speaking now, one sentence at a time. If someone asks, what did you do today? You can say, I went to work. Stop there. You do not need to plan everything. If they ask another question, then you answer that question. English becomes much easier when you stay in the present moment. Now say these sentences slowly with me. I have time. Pause. I know some English. Pause. I can speak one sentence. Pause. One sentence is enough. Pause. I can stay calm. These are simple words, but they can change the way you approach speaking. You do not need to know every word in English before you start. You do not need to be fearless. You only need to become a little calmer than before. And here is the big idea I want you to remember from this chapter. Sometimes your biggest problem is not vocabulary. Sometimes it is pressure. You may already know enough English to answer the question, but fear makes you forget what you know. So the next time someone speaks to you, remember these 3 steps. Pause, breathe, speak. Give your mind a small space. Let the words come to you. Do not chase them. Do not fight with yourself. Just stay calm and use the English you already have. In the next chapter, we are going to make speaking even easier. You will learn why simple English can be more powerful than difficult English, and how a small number of easy words can help you speak in many real situations. You may be surprised by how much you can already say when you stop trying to sound complicated. Chapter 3. Use simple English and feel more confident. Now that you know how to slow down and calm your mind, there is another important idea that can make speaking English much easier. You do not need difficult English to communicate well. Many beginners believe they need hundreds of advanced words before they can speak with confidence. They think, my vocabulary is too small. I cannot have a real conversation yet. But this is not true. You can communicate many ideas with simple words. In fact, clear and simple English is often better than complicated English. Imagine you are very tired after a long day. You want to tell someone how you feel. You do not need to say, I am extremely exhausted because of my responsibilities today. You can simply say, I am very tired today. Everyone understands you. Your message is clear. That is successful communication. Or imagine you need help. You do not need to say, I would appreciate your assistance. You can say, can you help me? Short, simple, useful. This is the kind of English that gives you confidence because you can actually use it in real life. Think about the English words you already know. Maybe you know words like want, need, like, go, come, eat, drink, work, home, friend, good, bad, happy, tired, today, and tomorrow. These words may look very basic, but they are powerful. With only a few common words, you can create many sentences. I want water. I need help. I like this. I want to go home. My friend is coming today. I am tired. Tomorrow I will work. Look at how much meaning you can communicate with very simple English. You do not need to open a dictionary every time you want to speak. You do not need to search for the most impressive word. Use the words you know. The more you use them, the faster and more naturally they will come to you. Let us practice together. Start with one small sentence. I like coffee. Very simple. Now we can make it a little bigger. I like hot coffee. Now add one more idea. I like hot coffee in the morning. And now one more. I like hot coffee in the morning because it helps me feel awake. Did you see what happened? We started with only 3 words. I like coffee. Then we slowly added more information. This is a great way to build your speaking ability. You do not need to create a long sentence immediately. Start small, then grow the sentence. Try another example. I have a friend. Then, I have a good friend at work. Then, I have a good friend at work, and we talk every day. This is how your English grows naturally. One small idea becomes a bigger idea. One sentence becomes 2 sentences. You are building, not rushing. Many learners become silent because they are searching for a perfect word. Maybe you want to describe a beautiful restaurant, but you cannot remember the word beautiful. Do not stop speaking. Use another word you know. Say, the restaurant is very nice. Maybe you cannot remember the word delicious. You can say, the food is very good. Maybe you cannot remember the word expensive. You can say, it costs a lot of money. There is almost always another way to express your meaning. This is an important speaking skill. Good speakers do not always know every word. They know how to explain an idea using the words they already have. So when you forget a word, do not think, my English is finished. Ask yourself, how else can I say this? That question can save your conversation. Let us imagine a few daily situations. You are in a shop and you want to buy something. You can say, how much is this? You do not need a long sentence. Maybe you are in a restaurant. You can say, I would like some water, please. Or even, water, please. Maybe you are looking for a place. You can ask, where is the station? Maybe you are talking with a new person. You can ask, where are you from? What do you do? Do you like music? These are simple questions, but they can start real conversations. Now imagine the other person asks you, what do you do in your free time? Maybe your first thought is, I need a long answer. No. You can say, I like watching movies. If you want to continue, add, I watch movies with my family. Then add, we usually watch movies at night. 3 easy sentences. That is enough for a conversation. Here is something very important. Simple English is not childish English. Simple English is clear English. Even strong speakers often choose simple words because they want people to understand them. Your goal is not to prove how many words you know. Your goal is to connect with another person. If the other person understands you, your English is doing its job. Do not compare your English with someone who has studied for 10 years. Compare yourself with the person you were last month. Maybe last month you could only say, I like music. Today you can say, I like music because it helps me relax. That is progress. Maybe last month you were afraid to answer a question. Today you pause, breathe, and answer with one simple sentence. That is also progress. Small improvements matter. Now I want to give you a simple challenge. Choose 5 common words that you use every day. For example, want, like, need, go, and feel. Make one sentence with each word. I want tea. I like this song. I need some rest. I go to work every morning. I feel good today. Now make each sentence a little longer. I want hot tea. I like this song very much. I need some rest after work. I go to work every morning by bus. I feel good today because I slept well. You are not learning hundreds of new words here. You are learning how to use the words you already know in more ways. This is one of the fastest ways to become more comfortable with English. And do not be afraid to repeat yourself. Beginners sometimes think, I use the word good too many times. That is okay. Use good until another word becomes natural. Do not make speaking harder just because you want variety. Imagine you are describing your day. You can say, my morning was good, work was good, I had a good lunch, I talked to a good friend. Maybe later you will learn words like great, pleasant, enjoyable, or wonderful. But today, good works. Communication comes first. Vocabulary grows later. Now think about this. You may already know enough words to speak much more than you are speaking today. The problem may not be the number of words in your mind. The problem may be that you do not trust simple words. You think they are not enough. But they are enough to start. They are enough to ask for help. They are enough to introduce yourself. They are enough to talk about your family, your work, your day, your likes, your plans, and your feelings. And when you use these simple words again and again, something exciting happens. Your mouth begins to remember them. You stop needing so much time to create each sentence. The words begin to come faster, not because you force yourself to speak fast, but because you have practiced them many times. This brings us to the next important step. If you want simple English to come naturally, you can not only read it once and forget it. You need to hear it, say it, and repeat it. Repetition may sound basic, but it is one of the strongest tools you have. The more your mouth repeats useful English, the less afraid you become of speaking it. In the next chapter, we are going to learn how to repeat English slowly and correctly until useful sentences begin to feel natural. And one day, you may notice something surprising. A sentence comes out of your mouth before you have time to translate it. Chapter 4. Repeat slowly until English feels natural. Now we come to one of the most powerful parts of learning English: repetition. Many learners think repetition is boring, but repetition is actually how your brain makes English familiar. When you hear a sentence only one time, your brain may understand it, but it may not remember it well. When you hear it again, say it again, and use it again, something begins to change. The sentence starts to feel easier. Your mouth becomes more comfortable. Your mind does not need to work so hard. This is why you should not always run toward new vocabulary. Sometimes the best thing you can do is stay with the simple English you already know and repeat it until it becomes natural. Think about your first language. You did not learn it by reading one sentence once. You heard the same words many times. You heard people say, "Come here," "sit down," "eat your food," "good morning," and many other simple phrases again and again. Slowly, those words became a natural part of your mind. English can become more natural in the same way. Let us practice together. Say this sentence slowly. I am ready. Pause. Say it again. I am ready. Now make it a little longer. I am ready to learn. Again, I am ready to learn. Now say, I am ready to speak English. Very good. And now say, I am ready to speak English slowly. Notice what we are doing. We are not learning difficult grammar. We are not trying to memorize a long speech. We are taking one easy sentence and building it step by step. This helps your brain understand the sentence, and it also helps your mouth remember how the words feel. Now try another one. I can do it. Pause. I can speak English clearly. Pause. I can speak English slowly and clearly. When you repeat like this, you are not only learning English, you are training confidence. There are 3 simple ways you can repeat English. First, repeat the sentence silently in your mind. Imagine the words clearly. Second, Say the sentence softly with your voice. Do not worry about speaking loudly. Just let your mouth practice the sounds. Third, say the sentence naturally with confidence. For example, think, I can learn English. Then whisper, I can learn English. Then say it normally, I can learn English. This three-step method is very useful because it connects your mind, your ears, and your mouth. You are not just looking at English, you are experiencing it. And the more often you experience a useful sentence, the easier it becomes to use later. Now let us use some everyday sentences. Repeat after me slowly. I am going to work. Pause. I am going to work. Next. I am making breakfast. Now. I need some water. Again. I need some water. Next. I will call you later. Again. I will call you later. And one more. Today is a good day. Again. Today is a good day. These sentences are simple, but that is exactly why they are valuable. You can use them in real life. You can say them while you are getting ready in the morning. You can repeat them while walking. You can practice them before bed. You do not need 1 hour. Even 5 or 10 minutes of calm repetition can help. Here is something very important. Do not repeat English too fast. If you repeat too fast, you may teach your mouth to rush. Slow repetition is better for beginners because it gives you time to hear each word. For example, say, I am learning English. Then say it a little more naturally. I am learning English. Then say it again with a calm voice. This slow to natural practice is powerful. It gives you control. Later, when you speak with someone, the sentence can come more easily because your mouth has already practiced it many times. You can also use repetition with questions and answers. Say, how are you? Then answer, I am good, thank you. Repeat both. How are you? I am good, thank you. Now try another one. Where are you from? I am from Pakistan. Again, where are you from? I am from Pakistan. This is useful because conversations often use the same types of questions again and again. If you practice common questions and answers, you will not need to build every sentence from zero when you meet someone. Your brain will already know the pattern. Some learners make a mistake here. They repeat a sentence 10 times without paying attention. Their mouth is moving, but their mind is somewhere else. Try not to do that. When you repeat, listen to yourself. Feel the sentence. Understand the meaning. Imagine when you could use it. If you say, I am tired today, imagine coming home after a long day. If you say, can you help me? Imagine needing help in a shop or at work. When a sentence has meaning and a situation, your brain remembers it better. Now I want you to choose 5 sentences from your daily life. They can be very simple. Maybe, I wake up early. I drink tea in the morning. I go to work. I talk to my family. I study English at night. Repeat each sentence 3 to 5 times. Then use them tomorrow. You can even change one word. I drink tea in the morning. Then, I drink coffee in the morning. I study English at night. Then, I read English at night. This teaches you sentence patterns, not just single sentences. And here is the exciting part. After enough repetition, something begins to happen. One day, someone asks you a question, and the answer comes out before you have time to translate every word. You may surprise yourself. You may think, wow, I did not build that sentence slowly in my head. It just came. That is not magic. That is repetition. Your brain has seen and used the sentence so many times that it becomes easier to access. This is how English starts to feel more natural. So remember this. Do not be afraid of repeating easy English. Easy English repeated many times can become strong English. You are building automatic habits. You are teaching your mouth what to say. You are teaching your mind not to panic. And you are slowly creating a new feeling. English is familiar to me. In the next chapter, we are going to take this even further. You will learn how to think in small English sentences without trying to translate everything first. And this is where your English can begin to feel much more natural inside your mind. Chapter 5. Think in small English sentences. Now that you have practiced repeating simple English, the next step is to bring English into your thoughts. Many learners hear the words "think in English" and become worried. They imagine that they need to think about everything in English all day. They think they need advanced vocabulary, perfect grammar, and long sentences inside their mind. But that is not how you need to begin. Thinking in English can be very small, very easy, and very calm. You can start with only one sentence at a time. Look around you right now. Maybe you see a phone. Think, "This is my phone." Maybe you see a chair. Think, "This is a chair." Maybe the room is quiet. Think, "The room is quiet." Maybe you are sitting. Think, "I am sitting." These sentences are simple, but they are doing something very important. They are connecting your real life directly with English. Many beginners translate everything from their first language before speaking. This is normal, and you should not feel bad about it. Translation can help you when you are learning. But if you translate every single sentence every time, speaking can become slow and tiring. You think of an idea in your language, search for English words, check the grammar, and then finally speak. That is a lot of work for your mind. So instead of trying to stop translation completely, start building a few small English thoughts that do not need translation. For example, every morning think, "I am awake." "It is morning." "I am tired." "I need water." "I am making tea." You probably know all these words already. The goal is not to learn something difficult. The goal is to make simple English feel familiar inside your mind. Let us try a small exercise together. Look around your room and choose 5 things. Maybe you see a table, a door, a window, a bag, and a cup. Now create one sentence for each thing. The table is small. The door is closed. The window is open. My bag is on the chair. The cup is empty. Do not worry if your sentences are not perfect. Keep them simple. If you only know how to say, "This is a table," that is enough. If you can add more information, add it slowly. "This is a table. The table is brown. My book is on the table." You are training yourself to notice the world in English. You can practice this everywhere. When you walk outside, think, "The weather is nice. That car is fast. There are many people. I am going to the shop." When you eat, think, "This food is good. I am hungry. The tea is hot." When you are working, think, "I have a lot of work. I need a break. I will finish this soon." And before sleeping, think about your day in very easy English. "Today was busy. I went to work. I talked to my friend. I came home. Now I am tired." This small habit can slowly make English part of your normal thinking. Here is something exciting. One day you may look at something and the English word will come to you first. You may see rain and think, "It is raining," without translating. You may feel tired and think, "I need some rest." That moment may seem small, but it is a very important sign. It means English is becoming more natural inside your mind. Do not expect this to happen with every word immediately. It will happen slowly, first with very common words, then with short sentences, and later with bigger thoughts. A useful method is to speak to yourself in English when you are alone. You do not need to speak loudly. You can say simple things like, "Okay, I need my keys." "Where is my phone?" "I am going outside." "I need to buy milk." This is called self-talk, and it is one of the easiest ways to practice without pressure. Nobody is judging you. Nobody is waiting for your answer. You can pause, repeat, and correct yourself calmly. You can even ask yourself questions. "What am I doing?" "I am cooking." "What do I need?" "I need some water." "Where am I going?" "I am going home." These little conversations can make real conversations easier later. Do not try to make your thoughts too complicated. If you want to think, I am disappointed because I could not finish everything I planned today. But those words are difficult. Make it easier. Think, I am not happy. I did not finish my work. Same idea, easier English. Remember what we learned before. Simple English is powerful. You do not need the perfect sentence. You need a sentence you can actually use. Try a 5-minute English thinking challenge every day. For 5 minutes, describe what you see, what you feel, what you are doing, and what you need. If you do not know a word, do not stop. Use another word or skip it. Keep moving. Your goal is not perfection. Your goal is to make English feel comfortable in your mind. And now think about how far you have already come. You learn to slow down. You learn to calm your mind. You learn to trust simple words. You repeated useful sentences. And now you are learning to create small English thoughts. But there is one more big challenge for many learners. What happens when another person starts speaking to you in real life? What happens when they speak quickly, ask a difficult question, or use a word you do not know? In the next chapter, you will learn how to stay calm, keep the conversation moving, and speak with confidence even when you do not understand everything. Chapter 6. Stay calm in real English conversations. Now we come to one of the most important moments in your English journey, real conversation. Practicing alone is useful. Thinking in English is powerful. Repeating simple sentences helps your mouth become comfortable. But when another person starts speaking to you, everything can suddenly feel different. Maybe they speak fast. Maybe they use a word you do not know. Maybe you understand the first sentence, but miss the second one. Then fear enters your mind. You start thinking, I do not understand. What should I say? What if they think my English is bad? But this is exactly the moment when you need to remember everything we have practiced. You do not need to understand every word. You do not need to answer immediately. You do not need perfect English. You only need to stay calm and keep the conversation alive. Imagine someone speaks too quickly. You do not understand the full sentence. Instead of becoming silent, say, please speak slowly. Or say, can you say that again? These are very useful sentences. Repeat them now. Please speak slowly. Again, please speak slowly. Now, can you say that again? Good. You can also say, sorry, I did not understand. There is nothing embarrassing about this. Even strong English speakers ask people to repeat things. Sometimes the room is noisy. Sometimes the other person speaks too fast. Sometimes a new word appears. Asking for repetition is not failure. It is communication. Now imagine the other person uses a word you do not know. Do not panic. Ask, what does that mean? Or, what does that word mean? These sentences can save the conversation. Maybe someone says a difficult word, explains it in simple English, and suddenly you learn something new. That is a good moment. You did not hide. You stayed in the conversation. You asked for help. That is confidence. Here is another powerful sentence. Let me think. If someone asks you a question and you need time, say, let me think. This gives your mind a few seconds. For example, someone asks, what do you like to do on weekends? You can say, let me think. Pause. Then answer, I like to stay home and watch movies. Simple, clear, natural. You did not need to rush. Try to remember this rule, one sentence at a time. Do not build the whole conversation inside your head. If someone asks, what did you do today? You can say, I went to work. Pause. Maybe they ask, was it busy? Then you say, yes, it was very busy. Maybe they ask, what did you do after work? Then you say, I came home and had dinner. Notice how easy this becomes when you answer only one question at a time. You do not need to prepare 5 sentences before you begin. You can also use simple phrases to keep a conversation moving. Say, "Really? That is nice. I understand. I agree. That sounds good." These small phrases are very useful because conversation is not only about long answers. Sometimes one short reaction is enough to show that you are listening. And when you listen well, you also get more time to think about what you want to say next. Maybe one day you make a mistake in a real conversation. You say the wrong word. You use the wrong grammar. What should you do? Continue. If you notice the mistake, you can correct yourself. If you do not notice it, keep speaking. Do not stop the whole conversation because of one small mistake. Remember, your goal is connection, not perfection. The more real conversations you have, the less frightening they become. Now think about everything you can already do. You know how to slow down. You know how to pause and breathe. You know how to use simple words. You know how to repeat useful sentences. You know how to think in small English sentences. And now you know how to survive difficult moments in real conversations. That is real progress. But there is one final step. You need a simple routine that brings all of these skills together every day. You do not need hours of study. You need a calm, repeatable practice that builds your confidence little by little. In the next and final chapter, I will show you a simple daily routine you can start tonight, even if you only have a few minutes. Chapter 7. Your Slow English Confidence Routine. Now we come to the final step, and this is where everything begins to come together. You have learned how to slow down. You have learned how to calm your mind. You have learned how to use simple words, repeat useful sentences, think in small English sentences, and stay calm in real conversations. But knowledge becomes powerful when you use it again and again. This is why I want to give you a very simple daily routine. You do not need 1 hour. You do not need a big notebook. You do not need difficult grammar books. You only need 10 to 15 quiet minutes. These few minutes can become your personal English confidence time. And if you practice calmly every day, you may slowly notice something beautiful. English will begin to feel less like a test and more like a normal part of your life. Start with 2 minutes of listening. Choose slow and simple English. Do not try to understand every single word. Just listen. Relax your face, relax your shoulders. Let the sounds enter your ears. If you understand only part of it, that is okay. Your goal is not to prove that you understand everything. Your goal is to become comfortable hearing English. Listen to one short section again if you want. Maybe you hear a sentence like, "Today is a beautiful day." Listen once. Then listen again. Notice the words. Notice the rhythm. This simple listening time helps your mind become familiar with English without pressure. After that, spend 3 minutes repeating 5 easy sentences. Choose sentences you can really use. For example, I am learning English. I can speak slowly. I do not need to hurry. I can ask for help. I am improving every day. Say each sentence slowly 2 or 3 times. Do not rush. Feel the words. Listen to your own voice. If your pronunciation is not perfect, continue. Your goal is to make your mouth more comfortable with English. You are training your mouth just like someone trains the body. Small practice, repeated often, creates strength. Next, spend 2 or 3 minutes looking around and thinking in English. Describe what you see. The room is quiet. My phone is on the table. The window is open. I am sitting on a chair. It is evening. Then describe how you feel. I am a little tired. I feel calm. I am ready to practice. These sentences may look small, but they are building something important. You are teaching your brain to connect real life directly with English. Slowly, you may begin to notice that simple English thoughts come to you more naturally. Now spend a few minutes talking about your day. Do not prepare a speech. Just say simple sentences. Today I woke up at 7. I had breakfast. I went to work. I talked to my friend. I came home in the evening. Now I am practicing English. If you make a mistake, continue. If you forget a word, use an easier word. If you need time, pause. This is your practice space. Nobody is judging you. You are building confidence one sentence at a time. And now we come to the most important part of the routine, the confidence practice I promised you. At the end of every practice session, say this sentence slowly. I do not need perfect English. I only need to keep speaking. Every day, my English becomes easier. Say it again, slowly. I do not need perfect English. I only need to keep speaking. Every day, my English becomes easier. Do not say it like empty words. Think about the meaning. You are reminding yourself that progress is more important than perfection. You can also create your own confidence sentence. Maybe yours is, I am not afraid of mistakes. Maybe it is, I can speak one sentence at a time. Maybe it is, my English is growing every day. Choose a sentence that feels real to you. Repeat it at the end of your practice. Over time, this becomes a new voice inside your mind. Instead of hearing, my English is bad, you begin to hear, I am learning. Instead of thinking, I cannot speak, you begin to think, give me a moment, I can try. Now imagine yourself after a few weeks of this calm practice. Maybe you still make mistakes. That is normal. But maybe you do not freeze as quickly. Maybe you remember to breathe. Maybe you ask someone to repeat a question instead of becoming silent. Maybe you answer with one simple sentence instead of waiting for a perfect sentence. That is confidence. Confidence does not mean knowing every English word. Confidence means knowing that even when you do not know everything, you can still continue. So do not make your goal too big. Do not tell yourself, I must become fluent immediately. Tell yourself, today I will practice for 10 minutes. Tomorrow, do it again. One calm day becomes 2 days. 2 days become a week. A week becomes a month. And slowly, your English changes. More importantly, the way you feel about English changes. Remember this final idea. Your goal is not to become perfect overnight. Your goal is to feel a little more comfortable with English every day. Slow English is not weak English. Slow English gives you time to think, time to breathe, and time to build real confidence. Keep listening, keep repeating, keep speaking, keep moving forward, one simple sentence at a time. If you've stayed with me until this moment, I want you to remember one thing. Your English does not need to be perfect to be powerful. Every time you listen, every time you repeat, and every time you speak one simple sentence, you are getting better. So do not stop here. Subscribe to Unleash Your English and keep practicing with me every day. Like this video if it helped you feel calmer and more confident, and in the comments write, I will speak English with confidence. Your comment is not just a comment. It is a promise to yourself. Keep learning, keep speaking, and keep believing in your progress. Your stronger English is already beginning.